If you make catcalls illegal, guys are going to start holding up written signs. If you make the written signs illegal, guys are going to start texting random phone numbers. They're going to do whatever they have to do to initiate the contact to pursue the potential mate. Period. I don't care how many laws you make, they'll find a new way. Let's cut the shit. As far as the PC stuff goes, let's cut the shit. Okay, now in the workplace, women, if you dress provocatively, I don't think that's appropriate unless you're in a position where that helps you with tips or something. But let's say you're in an office and you dress provocatively. You have a right under federal U.S. laws to not be harassed on the job. But what are you doing? Why are you dressing like that? Is it a tease factor? Because that's a form of torture, you know. It is. It's incredibly cruel to dress like that, distracting men from their work, perhaps from the loyalty they have to their wife, because you've talked to an inner portion of their brain that they cannot switch off. That's kind of torturous. Why would you do that? That's mean. It is. It's mean. So don't do that. If you like the attention, fine, do it all day. And if you get a little flirtatious, they've proven that men, when they've interacted with beautiful women by their own measure, they are in a better mood. It doesn't matter if they got any kind of connection, like something was going to happen, like some kind of a promise of a future date or something. Just the interaction put the men in a better mood. They were happier. So, okay, if you're going to do that, that's great. You're making the world a better place. But if you're doing it and then bitching every time somebody looks at you, you have issues. You have a problem understanding Mother Nature. You need to figure out the difference between conservative and accentuating apparel and wear the apparel that's not going to draw the type of attention you're claiming to not want. That's all there is to that. This show is going to be over soon. I have all kinds of other links up here because I was reading about this psychology today called the moral molecule. 5 tests to determine if your partner will cheat. I'm going to share that, but I'm not reading it to you. It's just a little bonus. I respect Psychology Today. I think they do a good job of defining the science, and it is a science, as it goes along, the current state of the science, if you will, and I like that about them. Now, there's sometimes they're looking to sell magazines, so they're going to have, a little bit of fluff in there, but for the most part, they're pretty solid. Causes of sexual harassment. I'm sharing that article as well. Remember, this is causes, and they get into some things here, some deep male motivations for the sexual harassment that are not just based on the desire to procreate. So keep that in mind. Sharing that link as well. All kinds of good stuff here. All kinds of good stuff that I'm sharing with you to read up on this stuff so you can understand that there's going to be no slowdown in men pursuing women. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I guarantee it. I bet my life on it. If there is some sort of change in the tide, it's going to be incredibly slow, and it's going to lead to extinction, because someone has to be chasing. Someone has to be chasing. It's either got to be the men or the women. You pick. That was weird. It sounded like a fart. It's my gutter in the wind sounded like a fart. My house just farted, y'all. Jesus Christ, what'd you eat, house? Had fucking lasagna or something. I know it ate 4 cats. Cat calls are flattering, closing that. Cat calls not flattering, closing that. Let's look quickly at the news. Branson, we are determined to find out what went wrong in spaceplane incident. You're going to have accidents. I think Virgin has a good thing going there with space tourism. You're going to have accidents. That's the way it works. A little bit of risk there when you start fighting gravity. Don't forget to set your clocks back. 8 get prison in Egypt for alleged gay wedding. Well, That's sad. But we can't expect all cultures to be equal to our rate of growth. And frankly, the United States is behind some cultures. So don't take yourselves too seriously on that. Islamic State executes hundreds of tribesmen in Iraq despite U.S. airstrikes. Well, ISIS is going to be nothing within a year. Trust me there. They sold news, though, didn't they? Yeah, you had them convinced they were going to come in through Mexico. Jesus Christ. Everybody's getting the Ebola, right? Ghost light from dead galaxies captured by NASA's Hubble. Interesting. Did not see that one. All right. Well, that's about it. That's about all I've got. And I have not been paying attention to... Hi, Mandy. I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention. Well, I grew up with 4 sisters, so I may sound like a bit of a gynecologist. Well, you bet your life if you're wrong, it's okay for us to have you killed. Yes, but I don't think I'll be around in 2 million years for this tide to change. So... High Desert Rose, listen, men are going to pursue women. That's the way our species is set up. It ain't changing anytime soon. I don't care what organizations you have. I don't care what laws you put into place. Men are going to find a way to initiate the contact with women and continue to try this breeding thing. Now, cavemen were motivated to spread their genes as far and wide as possible. Why? Because evolution supported that. If you didn't do that, then the man out there who was spreading his genes as far and wide as possible was creating more offspring, was he not? And was there not an inherent DNA exchange there? So what do you think he's going to produce? It goes on. It goes on. So we just need to be sensible about this sexual attention, wanted or unwanted. We need to be sensitive about how women are dressing and appearing, and then the equal attention they're getting from men. If you dress modestly and you're not looking for attention and guys still hit on you anyway, maybe it's just because you're super attractive, but let's say it's more than usual on a given day and you're not trying to hear that attention, say something back. Say, get lost, you fucking loser. Carry a knife with you. Carry a stun gun. We don't want you to get hurt. I don't. I want you to be safe out there. But you can't stop men from flirting with you. That is never, ever, ever going to happen. So give it up. Give it up. If you want men to stop flirting with you, you're still not going to get all of them to stop. But you can get a lot of them to stop by making yourself less attractive. Good luck with that. Some of you are just too pretty. You can't help it, huh? I don't know. You could put some of that black gummy stuff on your teeth. You could mess your hair all up. You could draw scars on your face, whatever. And then you're still going to have the men that like that look. Oh, wow, she's a tomboy. So, testosterone's a funny thing. Oxytocin, the male brain structure, the hippocampus, the amygdala, the chemical balance, all of these things are working together to create a sex machine. A man typically has a constant sex radar on. He notices stuff. He can't turn that off. It's not going to happen. So if you happen to show up as a blip on that radar, don't be offended. Don't be offended, especially if you dressed provocatively and made yourself very pretty. Just a weird little thing. I'll say, my ex-girlfriend, who I was with for 5 years, used to put on a lot of makeup, and she's very pretty. She had been a model. But she was very good at it, and she admitted that to me. She said, I'm really good with the makeup thing. I know how to do it well. And she did. And she got a lot of attention from other men. And she didn't mind it. She actually kind of liked it, I think. So it just depends on your personality type. See, I've always, at least when I was younger, I was a little bit more the jealous type. And they're finding now that that's a good thing, that men who are typically a little bit jealous are less likely to cheat on you because they're trying to protect their interest. So yeah, I feel a little twinge of jealousy now and again when someone's hitting on my woman. But for the most part, I take it as a compliment, and it makes me feel even more fortunate that I'm with her. But in this case, this ex-girlfriend, she was rather receptive to the male compliments that she got. Not flirtatious or anything. She was very professional that way. But she, I think she liked it. I just think she liked it, you know. I don't know. I just got that impression. She would have complained to me if she didn't like it. And she never did. So, I don't know. I think most women, I think they can appreciate the compliments. Catcalls and blurting out dumb shit in public. Guys, don't do that. You're making all of us look bad. You're making the women uncomfortable. Just back down. You can look all you want. You can take your mental pictures to do with what you want later. But let's keep the hooting and hollering down. Don't follow women for 3-4 minutes while they're walking down the street, especially right beside them like the guy did in the video. That could have been a prop. They're saying now that they think some of this video might have been set up so that these people could get donations to this organization. I don't know about that. But I do know these types of things happen routinely anyway. So, but this is nature. You're not going to change it. No organization is going to change it. Let's be honest about how human sexuality and sexual aggressiveness work, and not fool ourselves about this and pretend that there's some sort of cultural switch we can hit to change the behaviors of men. Not going to happen, folks. Is not going to happen. Promise you. That's about going to do it. Pappy's voice is gone. And I want to thank you all for coming in the chat room. You know, I've been kind of ignoring the chat a little bit. But, you know, Chris, that was sort of your suggestion way back when we were doing shows together about how to do radio shows, which we need to do another one soon. And I would love to do another show with you. Chris Crash Jesus, very talented radio host personality, as well as his wife. Apocalypse is in there, who does the show from his mother's basement. The Bastard FC Network, don't forget to check them out. I don't know if that's Barco or not in there. Yes, you're very welcome. Mandy, I hope I didn't offend you too badly. I'm just trying to show that the animal will continue on. You take away the outer layers of behavior, civilized behavior. Alcohol can do this. Putting somebody in prison will do this. And you get the animal. You're going to get the animal. And inside that animal is an engine that's always pushing to breed, and a male animal. And women, it's occasionally pushing to breed. Okay? Let's not forget this. Let's not forget that this is not something we're choosing to feel. It's wired in, and it's hardwired, and it's going to continue to pass down the DNA chain. Yeah. Well, good, Mandy. I'm glad I'm not offending you. You guys are a lot of fun, and I miss you. I've been doing shows less frequently, but I also find that when I do shows, if I do them too frequently, I lose a little bit of my spark. I have to wait till something gets me fired up. Like today, it was Apocalypse had shared an article, and one of his friends that's a girl got a bit sassy about it. And I was like, look, don't dress like that if you don't want that attention. I'm just trying to make sense here. Now, women have a right to not be harassed. But on the street, when it comes to just speaking, now if a guy comes up and slaps you on the ass, get his ass arrested. That's fucking assault. Get him arrested. But if he's just saying, hey, baby, what do I got to do to get your number? Just say, you wouldn't get my number if you were the last man on earth. So fuck off, asshole. Why can't you do that? Carry a stun gun with you. Carry protection, you know. Don't put up with it. That's fine. Don't put up with it if you don't want that kind of attention. Mandy says it's true. If you dress like a slut, you're asking for it. Well, I agree. I just, women may have a lot of different reasons for dressing like that, but you have to understand that whatever your reasons are not important to men. Men have a basic hardwired machine in there that's going to respond to a lot of skin showing or form-fitting clothing and makeup. These are things that speak directly to our inner brain functions. And you can't, there's no way to change that. You would have to do selective breeding through DNA modification. People are going to be selecting the traits they want in their kids in the future.